With millions of followers and hundreds of millions of views across social media, our next performer is the most viral hypnotist on the internet. He's hypnotized some of social media's biggest stars, including members of FaZe Clan, the Vlog Squad, and the Hype House. You guys all met him last night. Let's welcome back to the stage, Zach Pincince.
Good morning. Who is ready for day 2? How many of you all had fun at the show last night? Well, I am so excited to be here with you all this morning. This is really a special treat for me because usually I just do the show and that's it. And the audience of people at my shows are like, wow, that was cool. I wish I could learn more. And I'm like, sorry, I have a show the next night. I gotta go, I can't stick around. But I love that I get to be here with you all. Day 2, get to dive in to the deeper side of hypnosis and some of the more fun applications. Now, the way that you're going to be able to apply hypnosis in your life is not quite the same as what you saw last night. What you saw last night was really cool. But if you are trying to use hypnosis in your life to make your life better, you're not just going to go, all right, Zach, sleep. Next time you open your eyes, you're going to be really confident, no longer anxious. 1, 2, 3, awake. I'm ready to make some funnels. That's not the way it's going to go, right? What you saw last night was a demonstration of hypnotic trance, where you see somebody go into that trance-like state, where they are more open to the beliefs, suggestions, ideas that I give to them. What I'm going to teach you today is a more simplified version of hypnosis. If you remember last night, I defined hypnosis very simply as the process by which we experience what we believe. Now, last night, I was reading a bunch of your messages that you sent me of how much you enjoyed the show and the things that you wanted me to talk about today, and I only have about a half hour, so I'm going to try to cram as much of that as I can into the time that I have this morning. We have a lot of really great speakers lined up for you this morning. But 2 main themes from all those messages that you all sent me of things that you wanted me to talk about this morning, 2 main themes. First one is, how do I get what I want? How can I use hypnosis to get what I want? How can I use hypnosis to lose weight? How can I use hypnosis to be more successful in my business, in my family, in my professional life? How can I use these techniques and tools to allow me to achieve and become the person of my dreams? The second and primary theme of the messages, the topics that you all sent me last night was, how do I stop getting in my own way? All right, I hear, how many people would like to stop getting in their own way? Make some noise. I feel like you all were just getting in your own way of making noise about how much you're getting in your own way. Make some noise if you want to stop self-sabotaging. Whether it's anxiety, whether it's fear, whether it is stress, whether it is imposter syndrome, there are so many ways that we stop ourselves from becoming the person that we want to be. And this morning, I'm going to teach you how you can use some of the psychology of hypnosis to overcome that self-sabotaging. But before we jump into that, quick background about how I got started, how I became a hypnotist, because a lot of people ask me, they're like, wow, how did you get into it? How did you learn? And the fun part about this story is that there are pieces that will help you to achieve what you want in your life through how I was able to achieve what I wanted. Now, when I first got into learning hypnosis, before I learned hypnosis, I learned magic, sleight of hand, card tricks. And when I started learning magic, I was terrible at it. I could not even shuffle a deck of cards without playing 52 pickup. They would fall all over the floor. I could not do anything to save my life, but I decided, you know what? I've always thought magicians were cool. I've always loved seeing them on TV, and I started learning when I was a college student, so they would come to my campus and perform. So I decided one day I was going to learn how to be a magician. I started watching videos on YouTube, learning basic shuffles, basic magic tricks, and learned magic for about a year or so. And then from there, I decided, well, I'm really enjoying this entertaining, this performing. Let's get into other types of performance. I decided to get into doing stand-up comedy a few times. I got into doing improv comedy. And then I decided, why not learn hypnosis? Right? It couldn't be that hard. I learned magic from nothing. Why not learn hypnosis? So as much as I wish I could tell you that I picked up an ancient wizard scroll and suddenly became overcome with the power of hypnosis, it was not that simple. It was not that easy. But what I did do was I went on this magical website you all might have heard called the Google. And I looked up the magical words to become a hypnotist. I sat at my computer, pulled up the Google, and I typed in, how to become a hypnotist. You laugh. But that's exactly what I did. I said, I don't know how to become a hypnotist. How do I become a hypnotist? So I looked up the best resources to learn. I found a few books, a few DVDs that other hypnotists recommended to start out. So I said, all right, I'm going to do that. So I picked up a DVD on hypnosis. I told myself I am going to finish this DVD by the end of the week, and by the end of the week, I will have hypnotized somebody. I had no idea whether hypnosis was real or not, but I was determined to learn it. So I finished that DVD. By the end of the week, I was still a college senior at the time. So I said, all right, time to follow through on the second half of that goal. I am going to go out and I am going to hypnotize somebody. So what I did is I literally went up to strangers in the student union building on campus, just walk up to somebody and said, how's it going? My name's Zach. I've been learning hypnosis. Can I hypnotize you? And most people would go, what? No, because that's a really weird thing for a stranger to walk up to you and ask. But a few people said yes. First person that said yes, it's like, all right, I'm ready. Here are the concepts, the things that I learned in this DVD. I'm ready. I did it, followed along, went through the instructions, had them go through the process, and guess what? It didn't work. I was like, that's okay. Maybe I messed up, maybe I didn't do it right. Find someone else, find a new person. How's it going? My name's Zach. Can I hypnotize you? Go through the process, go through the steps, figure it out. It didn't work. Find someone else. Go through the process, go through the steps. Can I hypnotize you? All right, and it didn't work. And at that point in my mind, I'm starting to have a little bit of doubt. I'm like, well, is hypnosis even legit? Was this a bogus DVD? Is this even work? Does this even work? I have no idea. But I told myself, by the end of the week, I will have hypnotized somebody. So it didn't matter how many times I failed. I was going to keep going until I didn't. A few people later, go through the steps, go through the process, and it works. I was like, whoa, the person was stuck to their chair. They actually forgot their name for a moment, but it still worked. And afterwards, I was like, I did it. I hypnotized somebody. I'm a hypnotist. And from there, I just continued to learn, picked up some more books, more DVDs, practiced when I could on strangers, on friends. And a few months later, I was realizing, you know what? I'm really enjoying this. I'm getting really good at this. I was a communication major at the time, so I didn't have a specific job lined up after college. So I said, I'm going to be a hypnotist. And my parents were thrilled with my life choices. Yeah. But I said, I am going to be a hypnotist. The same mindset that I had when I first learned it. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know how it's going to work out. But I told myself, I will do it. And here I am, a few years later, having done it. I could break down the deeper end of the story, but again, we only have so much time. I want to make sure I can get to some of those concepts for how you all can apply some of these principles to make your life better. But the bottom line is I told myself that I was going to do it, and I did it. As you all might remember, Russell Brunson talking about Napoleon Hill yesterday, about this idea that all it takes to be successful is simply just an idea of what you want and a burning desire to not stop until you get it. You see, first time I tried hypnosis, it did not work. Second time I tried hypnosis, did not work. Third time I tried hypnosis, it did not work. Guys, sensing a theme here. Russell talking about yesterday the idea of being one funnel away. His first funnel was not that great. Second funnel, not that great. How many funnels? Over 150 funnels. Now, I've had some videos that have gone viral, helped me get a little bit of a following, some views online, but it was certainly not my first video that went viral. It was certainly not my second or my third or my fourth or my fifth or my 10th. Several dozens of videos until I had one that had any sort of traction. But it was that commitment, it was that idea that I will achieve what I want to achieve. Now, if you want to use hypnosis to make a change in your life, if you want to maybe lose weight, if you want to be more successful in your business, if you want to achieve anything that you set your mind to, first very, very important principle is understanding this. It is impossible for you to fail. It is impossible for you to fail. Why? Because no matter what happens, you will always achieve one of these two outcomes. You will either win or you will learn. I want you all to write this down. I cannot fail because I will either win or I will learn. When you hypnotize yourself with this mindset, with this idea, with this belief that I cannot fail because I will either win or I will learn, then what's stopping you? What is stopping you from making that change, from building that funnel, from making that first sale, from achieving the life of your dreams? Everybody is so afraid of failure, yet when they realize it's impossible to fail because you will either win or you will learn, then suddenly that thing you were afraid of does not exist. Now, when it comes to getting what you want, when it comes to making that change in your life, we know intuitively how to make that change. If we want to lose weight, we know two things we pretty much got to do is we just got to work out more and we got to eat healthier, and then you lose weight. If you want to make some money, you learned a whole bunch of ways that you can do that yesterday. And you'll learn even more ways throughout the rest of the weekend. You can flip items that you have found that you picked up at a thrift store, at a garage sale. You can sell stuff around your house. You can create a product and sell it. You can become a service or share your talents or passions and be able to sell that. There are so many ways that you can make money, and you're learning and will continue to learn those ways this weekend. So you know intuitively what you need to do, and yet what is happening is your mind is sabotaging yourself from being able to do it. As Russell talked about yesterday, the parts of the brain, the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the limbic system, the different components of the brain that factor into how we operate as human beings. And consciously, we know how to change. Consciously, we know what needs to be done. We learn it, it's all over the place. And the cool part about living in the society we live in today is if you don't know what needs to be done, you can visit that same magical website that I visited earlier. Anything that you want to know is literally at your fingertips, thanks to the internet. So knowing what to do is not the problem. If you have friends, if you have family members who you wish were at this event and you're like, man, I wish they could have gotten that information. I wish they could have learned it. Guess what? Just about everything that you are learning at this event this weekend is all in Russell's books. Pick up the books, pick up the audiobooks, listen to them. The information is there. What you need to do is not the problem. The problem is, how do you stop getting in your own way? How can you not allow yourself to get in your own way? Now, you might remember last night I mentioned the idea that either you will hypnotize your thoughts or your thoughts will hypnotize you. How many of you, by show of hands, have negative thoughts that get in your own way? Make the sound of how annoying those negative thoughts are when they stop you from achieving what you want. Oh, come on, make the sound of how bad those negative thoughts get in your way. Oh my goodness, those negative thoughts keep getting in my way. Here is the secret to getting over those negative thoughts. Good news and bad news. Like I mentioned last night, we always start with the bad news. The bad news is you can't stop those thoughts from coming. Because guess what? You are not the source of those thoughts. Those thoughts do not come from you. Those thoughts are not you. Those thoughts are just ideas that pop into your head. Ideas that have been influenced by the people you are around, by the media that you consume, by the life that you live. Those thoughts are not your responsibility. Those thoughts are not your fault. You cannot control those thoughts. But you can control what they mean. Let's say that one more time. You cannot control your thoughts, but you can control what your thoughts mean. Tell you what, if I were to give you, call it a suggestion, if you will, to use some hypnotic language, but if I were to give you a thought, an idea, and I were to tell you, you are a pink fluffy dragon, you're like, no, I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not a pink fluffy dragon. Thank you so much for that ridiculous thought or idea, but no, I am not. But if I were to say, you're never going to be successful and you can never follow your dreams and you'll never have what you want. Ouch, why? Why does that one sink in a little bit more? Because guess what? Both of those ideas are just as equally untrue and false. Yet why do we attach to one more than the other? Why? Because we believe it. Because we believe it. Can't control your thoughts, but you can control which of those thoughts you believe. Which of those thoughts you believe? I'm a pink fluffy dragon. Nah. I can never achieve what I want. Nah. Maybe I should start this business. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. You cannot stop your thoughts from coming, but you can choose which ones you believe, which ones you focus on, which ones you dwell on. To use an analogy, imagine your thoughts are like the waves in the ocean. You cannot stop those thoughts from coming. You can't stop the waves from coming, but you can choose which ones you surf. You can choose which ones you dwell on. You can choose which ones you focus on. Because what you focus on is what you will feel. What you feel is what you will do. And what you do is who you will become. Now, I had a bunch of messages last night asking about how can you use hypnosis to help me feel more motivated? How can I help step into that motivation, be the person I want to be, stop getting in my own way? How many people could use a little bit of extra motivation to achieve the life they want? Make the sound of the type of motivation that you want. In fact, motivate the person next to you. Say, you can do it. Now, I wish motivation was like a light switch that you could just flip, turn right on, and suddenly you're like, woo, let's go, let's do this, let's build that funnel, let's start this business, let's make this money. I can do it. But tell you what, as you all know, it's not that easy. But the secret to unlocking your motivation, you all want to know the secret to unlocking your motivation? I don't think you do. Do you all want to know the secret to unlocking your motivation? The secret to unlocking your motivation is understanding this. And I want you to write this down. It is much harder to think your way into a new way of acting, and it is much easier to act your way into a new way of thinking. Let me say that one more time. It is much harder to think your way into a new way of acting, and it is much easier to act your way into a new way of thinking. When I started out as a hypnotist, I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a hypnotist. I'm going to be a hypnotist. And it didn't work. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to hypnotize this person. And it didn't work. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to hypnotize this person. And it didn't work. And what do you think I was thinking at this time? I can't do this. This isn't real. This isn't even working. This DVD wasn't working. I can't be a hypnotist. I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. I don't have the talent. All lies, all thoughts. But why did I keep going? Because I was committed to act. I was committed to do. I said, I am going to hypnotize somebody. And I did. Remember last night, the Top Gun quote, don't think, do. Because your thoughts will get in your way. Your thoughts will stop you. Your thoughts will hold you back. But it is not your fault. Again, you are not the source of your thoughts. Your thoughts do not come from you. Your thoughts are not you. So do not let those thoughts stop you from living the life that you deserve, from becoming the person that you are. Because the truth, if you all want to know the truth is that each and every one of you here in this room tonight is a unique, special, incredible person, the likes of which have never, ever existed in the history of humanity and never will exist again. You are one of a kind. You are special. You are talented. You are unique. You can do something that nobody else on this earth can do. And you can do it in a way that only you can do. That is the truth. And yet, why don't we think that? Why don't we think that? How many of you have heard of the word affirmations before? Show of hands, how many of you have heard of affirmations? Now, affirmations can be powerful if you do them right. Because here's the thing. You can say whatever you want, and it means nothing if you don't believe it. You can say whatever you want, and it means nothing if you don't. You can say whatever you want, and it means nothing if you don't believe it. Now, quick exercise. On the count of 3, I want you all to say, I'm having a really good day, but I want you to think when you say that, I'm having a really terrible day. Think in your mind, think out loud. The words I want you to say are, I'm having a great day, but in your mind, I want you to say, I'm having a terrible day, all right? Think that thought, believe that thought, I'm having a terrible day, but out loud, I'm having a great day on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Meh. This time, let's reverse it. Turn it around. On the count of 3, I want you to say out loud, I am having a terrible day. But in your mind, I want you to believe, I want you to think, I'm having a great day. Believe it, feel it, imagine how good this day is, how amazing this day is. In your mind, tell yourself, I'm having an amazing day. But out loud on the count of 3, just say, I'm having a terrible day. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. All right. If I didn't know any better, I thought I'd think you guys are having a terribly amazing day. How many of y'all are having a terribly amazing day so far? Now, notice what happened there. Didn't matter what you said, it mattered what you believed. You can say whatever you want, and it means nothing if you do not believe it. If you do not believe it. The way that you use hypnosis to make your life better, it's not about putting yourself into trance, not about knocking yourself out, going to sleep, saying, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. The way that you use hypnosis is by developing a belief. But sometimes those beliefs take time. Sometimes those beliefs need work. Sometimes those beliefs need action to back them up. Because again, it is much easier to act your way into that new way of thinking than to try to think your way into that new way of acting. Sometimes, if you don't think that you're confident, sometimes you just gotta be it. How many of you heard the expression, fake it until you make it? Yeah, it's okay advice. I like to tweak it a little bit though. Rather than fake it until you make it, what if you were to fake it until you become it? Fake it until you become it. Because guess what? Nobody is successful until they are. That is the most simple and yet the most profound statement you will hear. Nobody is successful until they are. I was not a hypnotist until I did it. Russell Brunson was not an author until he did it. He did not have this super successful business until he did it. You are not successful until you are. And when you are starting, when you are just getting out there, when you don't know what you are doing, you have to be willing to imagine that you do. You have to put yourself in that place of saying, if I'm going out there and I'm trying to hypnotize people and it's not working and I can't do it, what if I am that hypnotist? What if I do know exactly what I'm doing? What if I do not give up until I become that person that I want to be? If you want to be more confident, if you want to be less anxious, if you want to be less stressed, you can try to think, oh, I'll just be more confident. Oh, I'll just be less stressed. Just anxiety go away, as if it were that easy. But what if instead you were to imagine, you were to play pretend, if you will, that you were suddenly the most confident person you know, whether it's a person in your life, whether it's a celebrity, a fictional character. Let's use Superman, for example, or Wonder Woman, or any superhero. Let's say I'm going into a situation and I'm not feeling confident. And I'm like, oh, be confident. I can't be confident. Oh man, I'm feeling stressed. This stress won't go away. If I go into that situation and say, what if I were Superman? How would Superman act? How would Superman walk? How would Superman talk? How would Superman respond to this situation? Would he let a little failure get him down? No, he would keep going. Would he let a little discouragement get in his way? No, he would keep going until he gets the job done because he is Superman. And then what I find is that the more I pretend to be Superman, the more I start to become like Superman. The more I start to embody that. What if you were allow yourself to pretend so much that the pretend no longer feels pretend, but the pretend becomes your experience of reality? If you are not who you want to be in this life, pretend that you are, and eventually you'll be it. Fake it until you become it. Now, the biggest life hack that I wish that I knew when I was younger. All of the kids, all of the teenagers, all of the young adults in this audience, please pay very, very close attention to what I am about to say. All of the adults in the audience, I'm about to expose you a little bit, so I'm sorry. But this is for everybody's benefit. The biggest life hack that I wish I had known when I was younger, the biggest life hack that would have allowed me to be successful even sooner, even faster, is this. Nobody knows what they are doing. Nobody knows what you are doing. Adults, make some noise if you know this is true. Every single person alive is still figuring out their life as they go. Every single person is still making it up as they go. Every single person alive, no matter how young, no matter how old, is still figuring it out. Every day. There is no such thing as an adult. There is no such thing as an adult. There are just people that are making it up as they go every day, no matter how young, no matter how old. Every person alive is making it up as they go. And if you are in this room, and if you are younger, if you are looking up to people around you and they're like, oh, my friend's so successful. They built this business. I could never do that. Oh, my parents have done all this. I could never do that. All these people, these celebrities, they do that. I could never do that. Yes, you can. Because though they look successful, they're still figuring it out just as much as you are. I still have no idea what I'm doing with my life. I am figuring it out as I go. Russell Brunson, still figuring it out as they go. Every single person that you are going to see on this stage this weekend is still figuring it out as they go. The one difference is that they don't care. They just do it. They take it one day at a time. And they say, it's okay that I don't know what I'm doing. It's okay that I'm still figuring it out as I go, because so is everybody else. The thing that is going to set me apart, the thing that is going to allow me to not just become a drifter, just going by wherever life takes me, the thing that is going to distinguish me as somebody that changed the world and makes a difference, the thing that will distinguish each and every one of you is a decision to do it anyway. A decision that says, doesn't matter if I'm still figuring it out, I am on the journey. It is about the journey. It is not about the destination. My life is important enough to me that I try anyway. Now, you all have been amazing. Again, we have so many awesome speakers lined up for you for the rest of the day, for the rest of the weekend. But I want to leave you all with one final thought. One final thought. I hope you all got some value from some of the things that I've shared. And I'll be around for the rest of the weekend, so feel free. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I will be around this weekend. If you have more questions or are curious about hypnosis, feel free to come stop me, say hi. I'd love to meet you, love to chat. But if there's one last thing that you take away from this talk, from everything that I've shared, I want you all to remember this. When you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. When you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. But when you argue for your possibilities, you get to create them. If you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. But if you argue for your possibilities, you get to create them. My name has been Zach Pincince. Thank you all for listening. You all have been amazing. Thank you all. Keep it going for our next speaker. You all have been amazing. Thank you all so much.